Now, I want to talk about this Chud the Builder debacle, okay? I've been absolutely enthralled with this man's content. As we all know, it's well documented on this show. I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure because I'm quite out and loud. I love watching streamers and pranksters harass people in real life. It's definitely a bad personality trait of mine. I love it. I love watching it. It's bad. I don't condone it. It's wrong. These people should go to prison. All right? Anyone who goes into a store and just starts smashing shit and bullying people and vandalizing stuff, they should all go to prison. However, what's also true is I'm laughing. And that I'll come out and say it right now. That's a personality flaw that I have. But I can recognize that it gives me a bit of a laugh. So I am the audience that watches this type of stuff, okay? Chud the Builder, this is a guy who was going live on a website called Pump Fun. Now, whenever there's a streamer who can't even go live on Kick, you know that they're a menace to society. If you can't even go live on Rumble, you should be executed. Like that's the reality that we live in. If you have to turn to an obscure crypto gambling website to be able to go live because whatever you're streaming is so horrific that not even Kick will have you, you need to go to prison for the rest of your life, and we don't even need to see a trial. But what's interesting about this Chud the Builder guy, and I've been watching this happen over on X, begrudgingly referred to, Twitter, begrudgingly referred to as X. I've been watching this guy and all the clips. Basically, his whole thing is he's like quite a big, jacked, handsome American guy in a cowboy hat that walks up to black people and calls them the word. And he calls them the word to their face, and they get really angry. And then he goes, "Look, they're chimping out." And then they say, "I'm gonna kill you for that." And then he goes, "I have a gun," and shows them the gun, and says, "I'll shoot anyone that attacks me." Essentially, antagonizing people with the magic word, daring them to assault him physically, and then they don't do it because he makes it very loudly known that he has a gun and he will use it to defend himself. That's the whole thing. And it's all wrapped up in like right-wing culture war shit. And his argument is that, it's freedom of speech, right? He's protecting freedom of speech by saying the magic word that often provokes black people to violence. And he's actually a freedom of speech warrior because he thinks it's wrong for there to be a word that makes it morally justifiable for you to be attacked. Like if the wrong person says the right word, they can get attacked for it, and it's the morally correct thing to do. That's basically what he's trying to fight against. That's what he says he's fighting against. And he's been doing this for, months now and becoming increasingly infamous for it. And he's been doing it live, like he's been live streaming. Now, I don't know if you know anything about America, but live streaming yourself antagonizing a racial group in a place that has guns is generally bad for your personal safety. Live broadcasting, most fucking Twitch streamers don't live broadcast their actual real life location when they're live streaming. They've got that shit on a delay. Props to Chud the Builder. This man's going out there saying slurs and there's no delay. Like, if you're watching at home and you've got nothing to lose, he's exactly where it looks like he is, and you can just go and get him. And that's essentially what has happened, right? After months of him becoming famous for saying the magic word to black people and making them increasingly angry, and attracting all of this negative attention and inciting hatred and being overtly racist on purpose in an antagonistic way. Like this guy he doesn't get racist after people piss him off. He'll like go up to black people and say the magic word. right? It's like aggressively antagonistic. And so what's happened, obviously, and I don't know why anyone's surprised about this, is that some guy tracked him down and attacked him from behind. This is allegedly, right? Because we don't have 4K footage of this happening in real time. Apparently, Chud the Builder was showing up to a courthouse to do something about some unpaid debt, and he was not live streaming at the time. Some black guy attacked him from behind. Chud the Builder pulls out his gun, shoots the black guy, grazes himself in the arm. So Chud definitely was attacked, but he also definitely shot the guy, right? That's what we know. Now, essentially what you have is this debate over whether or not this is self-defense. He's been charged with attempted murder. The guy that got shot, at least as of recording of this video, he has not been charged with anything, I believe. That may have changed by the time this comes out. Now, everyone is debating over whether or not this is self-defense. And now, ordinarily, if someone attacked you from behind and you pulled out a gun and shot them, there would be an argument for self-defense. The problem with this case is this guy, Chud the Builder, there are like dozens of tweets and hundreds of videos of him explicitly saying, if someone attacks me, I will kill them with my gun. There's even a tweet from him that says something to the effect of the season finale. This is his words, not mine. The season finale of this is a dead chimp on the pavement and everyone chimping out because I walk free. Right? Basically some live streamed George Zimmerman type scenario. Now, the problem with saying and antagonizing a group of people and then the problem with antagonizing a group of people again and again and again and then saying, if anyone from that group attacks me, I'm going to use a gun to kill them. That doesn't look like self-defense anymore. That looks like premeditation. That looks like trying to incite an event like this because you want to kill someone. That's what that looks like. So like in a vacuum, if just a random guy gets punched in the back of the head, pulls out a gun to defend himself, there's an argument to be made that that's self-defense. But the problem with all of this fucking context is that this guy's like incited vitriol and rage and all this kind of stuff. And what's hilarious about it is his whole thing is, oh, nah, I'm protecting freedom of speech. I'm protecting my freedom of speech. But the guy didn't get arrested at all for saying any of this shit. Not even once. Right? There's a few instances where cops were called on him and police talked to him and said, hey, man, you probably shouldn't be going out there antagonizing people. It's mean and rude. But not once was he ever arrested for any of the slurs that he was saying. So his freedom of speech was never infringed upon by the government. That's what freedom of speech protections are. Right? The government can't put you in prison for criticizing the government or saying a magic word against a group of people or whatever, right? The freedom of speech laws do not protect you from a citizen attacking you for saying a word. The laws that protect you from that are, assault convictions and stuff like that, right? The laws that say it's illegal to punch someone in the face there's no like guarantee to not get attacked for saying language because that's impossible. All the government can ensure is that whoever attacks you, if it's truly like, what am I saying? If it's truly just an attack and it's not self-defense, that person gets charged or prosecuted, right? So what's so stupid about this is that this guy's just almost killed someone and potentially ruined his life so that he can say the magic word to black people for like a few thousand live viewers on Pump Fun. And he destroyed his entire life. More context to this, though, is that someone killed his dog, like I think it was a couple days before this. So that's obviously someone seeing his videos, finding out where he lives, going into his property and killing his dog. That's horrific. That's terrible. But what did you expect? This is the thing. Like, I feel like people can't hold two ideas at the same time, where it's like, obviously, no one should be assaulted for any words they say ever, no matter what the words are, right? But also, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? You know, I think it's undeniably wrong for someone to be assaulted for saying any word, right? That's a bad thing to happen. But there's also a distinction between saying the magic word and calling someone the magic word, getting in their face and using slurs against them and being very mean. You know, it's like if somebody went up to me and got in my face and just started being really mean and rude to me, right? Obviously, I shouldn't hit them. But if I did, other people would be like, well, yeah, I mean, that guy was getting in your face and being really mean. He was antagonizing you, he made you very mean. You shouldn't have hit him, but you know, that happens a lot to people, even without the slurs. And then you add in the magic word on top of that, and it's like, yeah. Like, I think there's a distinction between saying the word and using the word as its original use. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're reading a book and the word's in the book, if you're discussing the etymology of the word and you're saying it, if you're in a movie, if you're having a discussion about whether or not the word can be said, if you're amongst friends and you're using the word, and like, that's different. That's fine, I think. But using the word in its original racist term at someone who you don't know, it's like, yeah, you're probably going to get hit. And that person shouldn't hit you, but you also shouldn't be getting in their face and calling them slurs. It's like, what, you know? They don't need to be slurs for that to result in violence, is what I'm saying, I suppose. And violence is never the answer, and it's never right. But it's also a generally accepted consequence of getting in the face of another man. And like, if I got in the face of somebody else and said, oh, you've got your breath smells like poo. You're ugly. Your outfit looks silly, and just gave them all of these inane insults. If I kept doing that, it's likely that someone pushes me in the chest. You know? And that's like not even anything personal or any slurs or whatever. So it's kind of ridiculous that there's been this massive moral outrage of like, oh my God, look what happened when this guy said a word. However, the other side of the argument is the guy that attacked this Chud the Builder dude, so Chud has all of these tweets saying, oh, if someone attacks me, I'm going to kill them, and all of this like stuff that essentially amounts to, at worst, premeditation, at best, incitement, right? So all of this stuff, which really muddies his claim of self-defense, because he's essentially just antagonized a type of person for months and months and months and months and months, daring someone to do it, saying that he wishes it would happen so that he could use lethal force to defend himself, and then he did it, right? It's very different from random attack and self-defense situation. However, the flip side of it is the black guy that attacked him, just as fucking stupid, he tweeted out like his premeditated plan. And look, these tweets might be fake. I'm pretty sure they're real, but we live in the world that we live in right now. Okay, so if I'm wrong, put it in the comments and fucking fact check me. But this guy, there's like 5 or so tweets of him saying, I'm looking for him, I'm going to get him, and basically planning out and saying out in the open that he's going to try and really hurt or kill this guy. So he's also done premeditation. So that makes the self-defense argument really strong. It's like, yeah, there is all of this incitement stuff and that, but this guy's come out and admitted that he's hunting for this guy. So I don't know what the fuck this case is. I don't know what's going to happen with this case. I think maybe both of them need to be charged with attempted murder. Like, it almost seems like that, where like the Chud guy, everything he's been doing is to try and artificially create a self-defense scenario, and everything that the black guy's done has artificially created an attempted murder scenario. And both, it's like the unstoppable force meets the immovable racist. And I was going to say that no one wins, but if both of these people go to jail forever, maybe the world wins. Because it's like, yeah, we definitely can't live in a world where saying a word is, I suppose here's the thing though, right? Is that if my understanding of how this situation unfolded is correct, this is my opinion on it. I might be wrong. More details are still coming out, and there's no like video footage. There's like blurry video footage from really far away. You can barely tell what's going on, and it does not show the start of the incident. But there is a distinction. If this Chud the Builder guy got in the face of a black dude, started hurling slurs, being very mean and antagonistic, and then got attacked, and then defended himself and killed this other guy, I think that can look like just straight out murder. Because he's like, he started the conversation, he antagonized first, he pushed the other person to the point of violence, and then escalated way beyond their violence that they used, right? So that seems like a much more cut and dry case of probably just straight out murder. However, in this scenario, it looks like the guy that attacked Chud had zero interactions with him at all. So it's like this guy has attacked Chud on behalf of strangers because he hurt their feelings and not this guy's feelings because they've never interacted before. So their first interaction is this guy running up and attacking him. Now, we should not live in a world where there's a magic word that you can say that immediately means anyone can attack you, or sorry, a type of person can attack you and they experience no legal consequences. We also can't live in a world where a guy can get into people's faces and be really mean to them and then threaten them with a gun if they decide to retaliate, right? That's what I think is like, everyone's being like, oh, there's one right person in this scenario. I think they probably both need to go to prison forever. And it's like, yeah, people should not be assaulted because they've said a word. However, if you say a series of words with malicious intention in someone's face, you're probably going to get assaulted, and that's not that wrong. There's such a difference between singing the lyrics to a rap song or discussing the usage of the word or saying the word without malicious intent and then saying it with malicious intent at the targeted group. It's so different. And I feel like no one wants to acknowledge that because that's just, not a fun position to take. It's either if you say that word, your life needs to get ruined and we get to kill you and bash you, or we should be able to say that word at the people that it's directed at in a racist way, and that's America, baby. It's like, yeah, I don't know if we want to encourage antagonistic, antisocial behavior like that. Like, what does that achieve? All these people are going, oh, Chud the Builder is fighting for freedom of speech. It's like, what does he get? What does the world get out of what he's done? Other than, someone's dead. It's bad. I think being mean to people in public is very bad. That being said, whenever stuff like that comes up on my Instagram reels, I'm watching. I am watching. And I'm laughing, and I might even like it. Probably not the racist stuff, but I am very partial to, there's this guy, what are their names? Dirty and Red on Instagram, and they keep getting deleted from Instagram because the stuff that they post violates community guidelines, and that's exactly why I and many others like it. But they basically just go into stores wearing high vis and walk up to strangers pretending to be employees and just call them a jackass. And then they fight for 2 minutes until they get kicked out of the store. And I love it. I really love it. And it's bad, and they should stop doing it. And it's antisocial behavior, and it makes the world worse, and I can't stop watching. And I love it, and it makes me giggle. And that's wrong. This is the thing, man. We all need to acknowledge that we contain multitudes. Within me are two wolves. One is the what's the guy's name? Lee Yun Q, or whoever fucking did Singapore. That's that guy. That's that wolf where he's like, if you have chewing gum, we're going to cane you. And if you break a window, you're going to jail forever. And if you smoke in public, it's a $1 billion fine. And if you steal from someone, your hand should be cut off. But then there's another wolf that lives within me that will sit for literally an hour on Instagram Reels watching two men push dudes in their 50s so much by being annoying and abrasive and obnoxious to the point of violence. And I will like that video and I will share it. and that's okay. It's not okay. There probably should be some middle ground. But you know what? We don't do that here.